Let's see what this Sony SL-C40 is like. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at a Sony SL-C40. It's a linear stereo version of the C30. And it's been sent in for repair by Rich. Hi Rich, hope all is well with you. This is the second Rich, not the other Rich. I previously repaired a Sony SL-HF100 for him quite some time ago actually, well a few months ago anyway. So yeah, main problem with this is it's labouring on lace-up, from what I remember. Poor picture. So let's start off by whipping the top off, and I've already taken the screws out. I haven't lifted the top yet, so let's take a look. Okay, well it's pretty dusty inside. A little bit concerned about what's gone on there. It almost looks like moisture's been in there and splattered like muddy stuff. I don't think so. It certainly needs a jolly good clean. See just how much tape residue there is there, so we'll get that sorted. There's more of that interesting whatever it is there. It could do a jolly good blowout. It looks like it's got building material in it. It's very dusty. Power supply, so I didn't quite make out the caps. They do look to be original, but it's had a bit of a brush through, a bit of a clean up, you can see there. Yeah, well, on the back of that I suppose we can give it a try. Plug will have to go, unfortunately, so there's no shrouded pins on the live and neutral, and let's just rip the top off and just see what fuse is in there. Okay, so there's a 3 amp fuse, but the cable clamp sort of isn't. It's actually being held in place by the live wire. So neutral doesn't look too clever either, so I'm just going to chop it off and start again, I think. So I'll get and do that, and we'll give it a try. Sorted, so put the top on and let's plug it in. Okay, so here it goes. Hopefully it'll be alright. So far so good. See how we get on. Oh gosh. Yeah. So that's going to need a service. What that's all about? Oh well, it's... oh, okay. Yeah. Allow me to press play. Oh, it sounds rough. But it is playing. Lots of dropouts, half expect that. Needs a jolly good service. A re-grease, and probably the Hall effect will need cleaning off. So I'm going to press eject. I'm not going to run it any longer than it needs to be. And it managed to eject. Wow. So yeah, let's get servicing. So just taking the back off, and this has black screws for the front panel, and I'm sure usually they are the sort of normal that type of screw. So yeah, that's interesting. So I think this must be a pretty late machine, because there's quite a few sort of modifications. There's also this spring, which is I'm a little bit concerned where that's come from. Almost looks like a spring from a guide, so guide assembly. But yeah, I don't know. On the other hand, it doesn't sort of look quite right for a Sony, but I don't know. We'll investigate. The other thing as well that's quite important to do, you can see there the solder is getting pretty broken up. So all of these will need reinforcing. I'll do the lots. I will say I did think when I was looking at it the other day, it does look as if these have all been pressed up, probably in transit. So I'm guessing that's where they've got broken. Hall effect. Actually doesn't look too terrible. But there is glue in there, so I'll clean that up. But yeah, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, gosh, it's pretty bad. But no, that actually doesn't look too bad at all. So yeah, I'll clean that up as well. Plastics look pretty good on the back of the reel table assembly. I did check the reels. I usually show doing that, but I just sort of rock each reel to check it's solid, because that can cause all sorts of weird and wonderful issues. So yeah, they were fine. The bottom of the motor seems good. Looks like it's got a different style of motor, style of plastic bung, which should be more reliable. Possibly will put some glue in there anyway, just to be on the safe side. So if it does drop, or if it shrinks and expands, whatever, causes problems with that plastic, it's not going to go anywhere. So I will use Araldite. I'm not going to use anything else for that. Oh no, I usually use the E8000 glue. So yeah, I'll put some of that in there. But yeah, cool. So I'll clean that Hall effect, repair those sockets, put a bit of glue in the reel motor, and we'll take it from there. Let's crack on. Well, those pads are really bad. You can see there where they've just come away, to be honest. I'm amazed I got a picture out of it. They were so damaged, but of course once you start applying a bit of heat, finishes the job, I suppose. But yeah, these pads came off. That one wasn't far off. It looks a bit messy, but it's fine. These not so bad. Could do it just trimming that off just to make it a bit tidier. Also giving these a bit of a clean up as well. So yeah, that's cool. Interesting serial numbers, 805423. So 805, I think that is a late one, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe you can let me know in the comments on the serial numbers Sony use. But yeah, that to me feels like it's a high production number. Hall effect, it's pretty much cleaned up. I mean, it's cleaned up so there's no residue between the legs and right up to the center itself. Hall effect, so that's good. So yeah, great. And I have put some glue in the bottom of the you can see a little bit of a whisker there, of the reel motor. Like I say, the plastic seems much harder and a better quality on this, so it probably isn't needed, but I've put some in anyway. So next thing I'm going to do is take off the front, and then we'll take off the front loading system and just degrease it, re-grease it, and then we'll actually get to the bottom of why it's loading or lacing, well, loading and lacing so slowly. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so front loading system is out. First thing I'm going to do is take the doors off, which is something I'm never very good at showing. So you pull out this little tab out the side, and then you can just slide out the doors. And yeah, it's pretty grubby, so clean as I go along. I had a quick look at the gear at the end here, and it looks absolutely fine actually. It's strange how some crack and others just show no signs at all. So I'm happy to not do anything at all with that gear. And probably not do anything at all with the grease on this side either. So yeah, so inside you can see it's really very, very greasy. It's all hard and it's all horrible. So I'm going to wipe off the worst of it. Not too worried about getting every last bit out. It's more to stop the dust, because the dust just gets caught up in it and it's horrible. So there's quite a bit on the outside as well. I'll just wipe off the bits that I can easily get to. There's quite a lot of grease on this. See there, I don't know whether this has been re-greased at some point. Seems an awful lot. Don't necessarily turn out to use. They can be a bit over the top, but not that much. So I'm going to get some cotton wool buds, and I'm going to try and clean as much of the grease out of the rails. So again, I'm not too worried about getting every last bit of grease out, but just sort of get it as clean as I can, with how close I can get, or how far I can get. Magic. Let's give the underside a quick clean while we're there. Right, so this side, and you can see it's not in time yet, so need to pull this back. And just unlatch carriage, sorry, a bit out of focus. So latch that side, latch this side, there, still unlatch it, and that is about time. See in that centre hole there, you can see right the way through. So, so greasy. Wow. What I will do, gives me a little bit of an opportunity just to get this side. This as well. Just the more I can get off, the better, without sort of being too over the top about it. But yeah, I'd like to try and get as much out as I can. Have you known Sony's have this much grease on from the factory? I have seen some with a fair amount, but this is just crazy for Sony. Right, okay. So let's undo the screws. It's all lined up. So I always miss one, mainly because I am looking at this from a strange angle or through the screen. And Gosh, they're tight. I'm most worried about breaking the plastic. They're so tight. So yeah, don't do it at a precarious angle, lifting it up like I am. I'm just doing it for hopefully a bit of clarity. It's not the easiest thing to show in some ways. There we go. So both those switches go, and immediately you're knocking out of time. That's fine. Wow. So let's get off all of that grease. I mean, to be fair, the most important bits are in the middle, because that's where it's that's where the lubrication is needed most. That's just bonkers. The amount of grease is just crazy. So I'm just going to move that back a bit. Okay, so I've been recording. So yeah, basically use graphite grease. It's a bit messy, but it does a really good job. I've made sure everything is lined up. And then this one's always a little bit interesting anyway. It's because of the angle. There we go. But yeah, the other side I think is just a little bit out. So I would say it needs just to be a tooth on, but the carriage is looking parallel. So I'm going to put the cover back on and then just see if I do need to actually realign that. It's easy enough to do from that side. I'm going to strip this apart just to do that. Actuate those switches, and then put the screws. Oh, it's not magnetized. Put the screws back in. Okay, let's just check alignment. Fine, fine, and this one will be a bit weird. Oh, it's fine actually, straight in. So this side don't know, is that a tooth out? Let's put that one in there. So I've put the one in the corresponding section on the other side, and I've got exactly the same Allen key. Oh, yeah, it is actually fine. I thought it was because this is parallel. So this is parallel to this. This is the carriage there. So it is fine. It's absolutely fine. It could even be a trick of the light. Like I say, it's the light can be a little bit deceptive sometimes because you sort of see things that aren't actually there. It's sort of the shadow then. Just going to put a tiny bit of grease on the slippy slidey bits. Where it sort of changes direction, that's an important bit. Yeah, so not too much, but yeah. Oh, this, by the way, I don't know if I filmed it. This is like a sprung assembly. Sort of takes up the slack. When it goes down, it sort of makes sure that it's fully down and sort of tightens up, and there's quite a bit of pressure there. So what I use for that is the rocket spray grease, because it stays pretty much where you put it, as it says on the tin. So yeah, I spray some of that on quite liberally, and then I just dry off all the excess, and that seems to do a really good job, to be fair. Could grease this as well. Absolutely no, what's probably as good, if not better in some ways, to just grease it. But yeah, I just find that works well. So it's whatever you want to do, really. Just clean these doors. Okay, and then we'll put the doors back on. Now this is a bit of an odd machine. I'm sort of saying this now while I think of it. Insofar as it doesn't have the tape. There's a bit of black tape that if you try and put the doors on, when the tape's there and the front loading system's actually in situ, it will it can be a bit tricky. Oh, just miss some muck. And which way does it go? That way, I think. Oh, there. No, that way. No, that way. There we go. Don't know why I doubted myself. Okay, so that's it. So I should be able to... Not really. You can see there's a hole there. Hole straight through there. And then hole there. So that bit there. So we are good to go. Yeah, let's pop that back in the machine. Okay, so back in, and I didn't show me putting it back in. It's just 2 screws there, 2 screws on the top, and the all-important screw in the middle there. You can miss it out if you want to, but it's better probably if you don't. So obviously not going to try it just yet because we need to sort out these planetary gears. So yeah, let's crack on. So I haven't recorded quite a bit of this, but I've taken out the power supply now. I've shown it on other videos where I changed the small caps. But what I have noticed is there's like a drip mark, like a trace mark of water running down here. And yeah, this has been at some point in the damp, so not ideal. So I'm going to change these 3 caps on this side. They're all 22 microfarad, 16 volts, and then the 2 on the other side, so 47 microfarad, 16 volts. And I'll probably swap out these fuses as well, just for the sake of completeness, because they do get weak with age and will just rupture. And I've cleaned up the redone the heatsink compound for the SDK. So there's the SDK there. SDK, what is it? It's SDR in these, isn't it? It's an SDR 1229. So Sanken. You see there's a little bit of green on that. If it'll focus. But yeah, so it's seen a bit of damp, this. It's not ideal, but anyway, I'll get them changed those caps, and I'll put a nice bit of heatsink compound on the back of that STR, and we'll crack on. So now for the important bit, really, which is the labouring with loading, front loading system and lacing. And I'm pretty confident it's going to be all down to this here. That actually doesn't feel too bad. Now, what can happen, these can get so bad and put so much load on sort of like the planetary gears, put so much load on the center gear that it will crack it. And I mean, they do crack anyway, but the center gear of the 3 will actually come off, and just doing it very, very carefully. You see it's coming up. There we go. And I'm very tempted to actually, I've got a resin printer now, so I'm tempted to actually get some of these made up. We'll see, because it's quite a fine gear. I have to say, they feel absolutely fine. So let's just wind it on. And that feels fine. So maybe we have a motor issue. It's not inconceivable that we would. The motor spindle feels tight actually. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'll use a little bit of the rocket in the first instance. Just very carefully flood this. So just flood the 2 planetary gears and then the center motor shaft up. Yeah, it does feel bad. I think that's where the labouring's coming from. Oh, it's suddenly gone a lot freer. But these gears are absolutely fine. It's almost a tiny bit of run on. They're never going to be like brilliant, but so they don't have bearings or anything. It's literally just pressed in. But okay, well that's encouraging. Yeah, that's freeing up quite. Yes, much better. I use a little bit of the silicone high performance grease. It's plastic, and after all, I've used this before. I can't see any compatibility issues using the two greases. Let me know in the comments if, oh yeah, that's made a huge difference. Yeah, that's really good. It certainly feels a heck of a lot better. Let's clean that up. Don't mind a little bit of grease in there, but I don't want it flooded. And then we'll put this gear back on. So, oh, that was clever. I have a gear. Yeah, it flew off. Wasn't quite expecting that, but you know, it's one of the day's work, isn't it? And just trying to get it so there's a flat on the gear, and just trying to get it so that's lined up and it'll mesh with the two planets, or the orbiting gears. There we go. Well, it certainly feels fine. So same with this. So I'm just going to take out the excess. I mean, you can argue spraying this inside is pointless, but I just think, well, it sort of cleans it as well, and the centre shaft. So what I'll do now, let's lift off the whole assembly. Just check the black gear that connects up to the lacing system. Make sure that's fully clipped down. Lovely. And little spring. Came off way too easily. And oh, take out the other screw. It does help. Bit ahead of myself there. Okay. And the bottom of that is perfect. And just put a little bit of lubricant on that as well. So to splay out these two bits of plastic. Easier said than done. Without breaking the gear. Ouch. And take both of these off. And then I'm just going to clean that shaft. My oily rag. Tiny bit of silicone. Just tiniest amount. I'll give this a clean. There's no real grease in these bits of assembly, so yeah. Oh, I'm going to put this on, otherwise things will go badly wrong. So I'll put it the right way up. There we go. That feels really nice. A couple of bits of contamination there. Put the tiniest amount of cleaner on there. Oh, cleaner. Grease on there. That'll just run in. Take the excess off. Tiniest amount. And that's great. Now, I'm going to take the opportunity to clean that caps down, because it's really very, very grubby. So capstan wasn't too mucky, but being a hi-fi machine, well, not a hi-fi machine, but being a stereo machine, let's get that head demagnetized. Get this back in. And just trying to get it sit nicely. Which sometimes they do straight away, other times you have to sort of jiggle them about a bit. There's some plastic underneath as well, which sometimes can cause issues if it comes adrift. I think we're about there. Disassembly. And bit of plastic on that arm there, goes behind the solenoid. Large washer screw at the back. Smaller one. Small washer to screw at the front. Put the screw in, and then belt. And gently tighten up the tensioner. Don't over tighten it because it splits the plastic. Probably do it being just a little bit. It's probably about enough. It doesn't make a lot of difference, to be honest. Okay, so let's try a cassette, and then if everything seems okay, I'll get the tape part to clean, put it back together, and we give it a test. Let's crack on. Okay, so let's power it up. Lovely. And sort of expect that. Because obviously it's still in the service mode or alignment mode. Still sounds terrible, those heads. But yeah, that's a heck of a lot better. Okay, so well, this machine's nearly there, isn't it? Obviously we haven't checked the picture yet, but I'm fairly confident it's going to be okay. They usually are with these machines. So much better. One more test. Magic. I'll put it back together, or relatively put it back together, and we'll give the tape path a clean and we should be good to go. Let's crack on. So pretty much all back together. Obviously I haven't put the lid on, I haven't cleaned the tape path yet, but yeah, I just noticed, well, I noticed earlier actually, this is quite a bump in transit. I don't think this was to me, I don't know, I have to ask Rich about that, but yeah, quite a bump there, and obviously a scratch there, but yeah, it's seen a bit of life. But it's not got too many hours on it. The drum itself looks pretty good, so I won't be resurfacing that. I mean, we'll see what the wind is like, but I'm pretty happy just to give it a good clean, and that should be enough. So yeah, and it's also got the tool for the tuning, which is totally redundant, but I just love these things. So cool. You've even got the little point on the top of it. Very, very cool. So yeah, anyway, let's clean the tape path and see what it's like. Okay, so I was going to just clean the tape path. Jobs are good, but I knew it was pretty badly contaminated, to be fair. And having a close look, you can actually see there's a lot of tape contamination, and I don't really quite make it out, but they're actually on the edge of where the bottom drum, sort of where the gap is. It's actually really bad. So I'm going to take the upper drum off and give it a good clean, and while I'm in there I might as well resurface it, and we'll have a look. It sort of, on the close-up, it actually did look quite worn, which at first glance it didn't seem too bad, but sometimes the dirt, like the sheen, makes it look better than it is. So 2.4mm Allen key. So yeah, that is actually quite shiny. So yeah, oh gosh, look at that. What's happened there? That's pretty bad. Okay, so I'm going to clean all the way around the bottom. Found out what the ticking is. Oh gosh, okay. There's actually a bit of tape. Can I easily get hold of that? Huh. Yes, I can. There's actually a bit of tape wrapped around the head chip. So I'm glad I found that, because it was a bit of a weird noise. I might just give this a bit of a blow through as well. Obviously not on full power with this, so I don't want to damage the head chips. But I think just put it on low. I won't put it anywhere near the head chips. Maybe give it a bit more beans. Well, hopefully that would have got rid of anything nasty. Super. So give this a clean and I'll resurface the upper drum as well. I have a video specifically on resurfacing the upper drum, so yeah, if I remember I'll link to that in the description. But yeah, let's crack on. Well, that's about good to go. You can see a very slight mark there, but that's fine. And pop that on. It was so dirty. It's unbelievably dirty. And I have turned the guides, that one, and that one, so the shiny bit is not in the tape path anymore, which is just helps with the sort of reduces the friction then. So let's get this in. There we go. It's nice and tight. Seems a lot better. You might have noticed I've taken off that bit of rust as well and just put some treatment on it. Still see a tiny bit there, but that's fine. And I'm also missing a screw on the front loading system, so I'll have to put that in. But let's give it a test. We should be about good to go. Let's crack on. Okay, so let's power it on. And push the cassette in. I think everything's done. So that's looking pretty good. Let's start capture. So yeah, tracking left, tracking right. Yeah, he just started his servo lock. But yeah, that's really cool. Let's just wind it back. A little bit of damage on the tape there. You put a big grease on there. And then just... Yeah, that's looking really good. Backwards, picture search. Forwards, picture search. It's easy for me to say. It is slightly causing problems on reverse, maybe. I'm going to put a big grease on there. Okay, so I did get a bit of a problem with the tape being a little bit like willing to sort of wander on view. It seems absolutely fine now, so I'm going to run it anyway and just see how it gets on. I think it will be okay. Something weird going on the top of that. The paint's gone sort of weird. On the top there, it just needs a good run now, and possibly bit more of a lubrication. But yeah, it seems to be really, really good. I think it will be a great machine. Once it's had a bit of use, add a few cassettes through it, I think it will be absolutely fine. So yeah, there we go. Pause. It's not bad, is it? 2-head machine. So yeah, let's do a tracking test once more. Furthest left, so just cutting in. Furthest right. It's losing lock. So obviously this was recorded on a different machine to the last bit, the last sequence I had. That was actually recorded on that really nice C40 that we had just the other week. And it just shows that machine was really very, very good, very spot on tracking wise, because this plays that back perfectly. It would have actually been quite a good one to make a test cassette with, to be honest. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to leave it here now, and I'm sure Rich will be really, really happy to have this machine back and working as well as it is. It's really a wonderful machine. So yeah, with that, thank you very much for watching. A like and subscribe is always very much appreciated, really is appreciated. And hopefully I shall see you in another video. Bye for now. Okay, so just breaking in a little bit. I noticed after I recorded the outro bit, the audio was terrible. It's just really muffled and horrible, and it should be actually really very good on these machines, and it is. So I'm just going to start a capture. Basically, there was a huge amount of that sort of white stuff on the actual audio head. On the actual ACE head assembly, the audio head itself had a white smear right across the audio head. Can't believe I missed that, even though I cleaned it. You've got to get right underneath. Well, I had to give it a jolly good clean, to be honest. It was so entrenched, like sticking to that head. So really good clean, and yeah, it's perfect. So yeah, phew. Here's a bit of a sample.
Their areas of interest, the scars left by the Depression, and the creation of the welfare state after the war made them increasingly concerned with whether their citizens had jobs, homes and medical care. But as the Soviet Union so brilliantly demonstrated, governments are useless at running businesses. Could you make a case for saying that in the free world it's business that runs governments? Our economics correspondent Evan Davis reports on an era of hot money and footloose companies when governments are beggars rather than choosers.
The pound's humiliating ejection from the European exchange rate mechanism in 1992. A politician's nightmare.
Massive speculative flows have continued to disrupt the functioning of the exchange rate mechanism.
They blamed the markets then, and politicians continue to blame the markets now for all sorts of tough decisions.